I'm Bambi Francisco, and I'm speaking with Pat McGovern. He's the founder and chairman of IDG, a leading technology, media, events, and research company founded in 1964. Pat, thank you for joining me.
My pleasure, Bambi.
IDG, 46 years old, essentially when it started and evolved. You've ridden the mainframe, mini computer, PC wave, and now the internet wave. But the internet is certainly threatening a lot of traditional media. Having started back in 1964, you're definitely traditional media. And it's been really tough for a lot of the established companies and involved in events and conferences and magazines. What are the areas that have been hardest hit for IDG in the past couple years?
Well, we've been fortunate that we're all about information technology, and our audiences are the early adopters of things like the internet. They were active internet users before, you know, it had the
Mark Andreessen was born.
Mark Andreessen was born, and it had a HTML and a graphic user interface, etc., so that it became also visually attractive. So we were constantly surveying. We started our company actually as a market research company, International Data Corporation. So for 3 years we just did nothing but understand what people wanted from information technology, and then with that knowledge we started the information services in '67 as publications and conferences and events. So what we have found is that if people have information that is where they would need to have action, a decision on it that has time value, economically important, then they want to get it as quickly as possible, so they prefer that to be on the internet. If they want like a review, evaluation, a case study, an application report, 2,000 or 3,000 words, they prefer to read that, because reading that on a screen is typically not all that easy on the eyes. So we've found that our weekly publications have put the bulk of all their news on the internet for immediate delivery, and of course now sending it out to their mobile phone for immediate delivery. And then the magazines are typically more feature-oriented with the longer pieces that people enjoy reading and saving.
So you've had to adjust in terms of the content that's being distributed either in your magazines or online, and you've also expanded the number of sites you have. You have 450 sites, websites as well. How is what's your outlook for advertising and the magazines, the magazine business? I mean, last year nearly over 350 magazines went under, but your 300 magazines actually they've done okay. And as we talked earlier, you have one magazine, InfoWorld, that you shut down in 2008, but it's flourishing online. So are we going to see more of your magazines moving online? And so what are we going to see in 2010?
Well, we had the test. InfoWorld was a weekly publication with about 160,000 recipients, but also very active website. And we found that the people were coming to get most of the information that they had need for their job or their activity. They wanted to get it online. So we said, all right, let's experiment. Let's stop the print title and see what will happen with the number of visitors and the content that's coming from the visitors onto the website. And so a lot of people said, oh, you know, without the print title, maybe your brand won't be as visible. There won't be a copy of your magazine on the desk, etc. But we said, let's try it. Let's test it. And what we found is that as the whole editorial team didn't have to split their time between what was in print and what was online, they could just focus on making the online the best experience. And then they solicited a lot of content from the people who were visiting the site. That the site exploded with content and the creativity. And so at the end of the year, we found we hadn't, even though the print title was carrying about 45% of the revenue, the whole company together was larger than it was when we had the print title. So all the revenue lost in print was made up by about 70 or 80% gain in online revenue. And the nice part, without the expensive print, paper, and postage costs to put out a print title, we were able to go from about a break-even to a 35% profit margin. So the web-centric publishing is a marvelous model in terms of the economics for the information provider.
So why not stay web-centric? I mean, we talked earlier, and you said, I guess the magazine advertising was down with the industry about 19% or 20% or so. Why not move your magazines all online?
Yeah.
Why bother having them?
Well, what we say is that as long as the print publication can make a profit, then it has a need that it fulfills, and it can stay around. There's no need.
What did you do to keep the profit when, as I mentioned, 367 magazines went under in 2009? How did you manage to survive?
Okay. Well, we took some steps to reduce the cost. We took to use the tabloid formats we made into magazine size, and obviously the number of pages per issue, which used to be 140 or 160, or now more 36 to 48. And then we looked at the 80-20 rule on the circulation, that 20% of the circulation at 80% of the buying power for the advertisers. So we reduced the circulation sizes, taking away the readers who had very little buying power. So we're still delivering a good value for the advertiser, but at much lower cost to us. But if we feel if a print title starts to consistently lose money, then we will stop it, because we know without the print title, we can do very well.
What's the future of the magazine industry?
Well, I think it's going to be in two types. If you're looking for action information that you want to make a business decision on, and you want it to very fast, then I think that's going to be a web-centric service, because and now that you have 24/7 access on your mobile internet device, whenever time you want to know about prices, stocks, mergers, acquisitions, you can get it immediately. If you're looking for more of an aspirational experience, and we publish in China about 40 consumer magazines that have high-speed cars, or fancy dresses, or jewelry, or buying yachts, and those do very well in the print form, because they're a monthly, and it doesn't matter whether you read it on Tuesday or Wednesday or Friday. But when you do read it, it has wonderful graphics, and it's a great emotional experience, and you dream about, when you have the money to buy all these luxury goods, how nice it's going to feel. So that print experience, because it's aspirational and emotional, and it doesn't have any time value to it, I think will continue to be a very strong part of it.
Can't expect to break news on a weekly, though.